Hey guys, welcome back to Everything Anime Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Shinry, here with Everything Anime Podcast. I'm ready from anime, manga, video games, TV shows, and whatever the topic we're talking about. Today's video is on Tokyo Ghoul, chapter 16 and 17. I'm not sure what I'm going to title it just yet. It is kind of Tokua focused, which is kind of cool, because we know our main characters are like Kaneki, Hyde, Mr. Yashimura, Yomo, Tokua, and then like other characters are kind of sprinkling in around them. But the central, and Hinanami, the central cast seems though just to be like Tokua, Kaneki, Hyde, Hinanami so far. But anyways, in this opening, we follow Tokua, who is feeling sad about failing one of her classes. I think it's just more humanizing her because we know as a ghoul, like, she doesn't need human school. They don't need to, like, attend human society. I mean, they do because they want to blend in with humans, but, like, honestly, the same thing I thought about like, the Vampire Diaries. Like, why are vampires going back to school? Why are you repeating high school? Like, well, Damon did that. Stefan did that, which just seems annoying and stupid to me. Like, I was like, if I was immortal, I am not going to go back to school, even if I was an immortal teenager. Fuck that shit. That just sounds boring as hell. How you even got, compulsion, obviously, how they even got into school without the transcripts. In the first episode of the Vampire Diaries, he compels her. Either way, just seems boring and a waste of time. Like, I'm an immortal. I'm going to spend 8 hours of my day fucking, what's that like? 40 hours of my week going to school? But ghouls have to blend with society, and because Tokua is a teenager, that's the best way she can blend in. Especially learning, like, especially you can learn slang in high school and stuff like that, so I respect it. When she approaches Auntie Iku, the store is closed, but she finds Mr. Yoshimura inside, and she's confused because she's like, why is the store closed, like, if we're supposed to be open right now? But I knew this was because the mother ghoul died, and they wanted to tell her, like, that she's been killed, and, you know, Hinanami is now, like, motherless and fatherless, parentless, and more about the events about the investigators, the CCG that took her out. Due to the events, Mr. Yoshimura is like, we have to move Hinanami to a different ward or section of Japan by herself. Now you gotta remember, like, this is a child ghoul that, like, whose mother, her mother never taught her how to hunt because her mother didn't hunt. Her mother didn't fight humans. They kind of just stayed in hiding, and they went to Atiiku to get food because, you know, they couldn't fend for themselves. The father, again, was the provider. It was not said in that last video, but again, we're going to get there, but that's the basic thing. Like, the father was a provider. And, you know, so, like, he's like, we got to send her off on her own. Like, they're going to be looking for her. So, she got to go. Which sounds kind of fucked up. I mean, but as a ghoul, that's what I'm saying. The story, it's trying to manipulate your feelings. It's trying to, like, flip it to make us feel sorry for these ghouls. When should be rooting for the humans, it should be rooting for the paranormal investigators. But since the ghouls are the heroes in the story, we're going to go with it. So yeah, you're supposed to feel sad that Hinami is like a young ghoul who doesn't know how to fight for herself, doesn't know how to feed herself, doesn't know how to hunt for herself, and now she's about to be sent to the other wards. And we know the 20th ward is the peaceful ward. That's out of all the shit that's happened in the 20th ward so far, being Mystic Falls on steroids is at least the most peaceful compared to apparently what's out there. To which Tokua rightfully freaks out because the mother and daughter could barely fend for themselves before, and she knows that if she's on her own, she will die out there. Tokua being that, like, sister figure to Hinanami, whereas Kaneki is the brotherly figure. But obviously she cares about her. We kind of knew that from the start. And she's like, you can't send her out there. You send her out there to the slaughter. You're sending her to the wolves. You're basically allowing her to die. And Yashimura, Auntie Iku, the whole thing is about, like, you know, protecting ghouls, giving them a place to stay for humans and ghouls. So she's like, why would you kick her out? She just lost her mother and she lost her father before. Despite she wants to counterattack, she's warned against it. They called the investigators doves. Not sure why, even when I'm at chapter 35, but they call them doves. But they say if one of their kind, a ghoul, kills a paranormal investigator / dove, they will assume that the area is filled with hostile ghouls and swarm the area until all of them are eradicated. So basically, like, if you kill one paranormal investigator, every paranormal investigator that exists is going to come there. They're going to make sure all the ghouls are dead. Like, they're going to sweep that whole area. So they're like, we can't put ourselves at risk for this one ghoul. Like, yeah, she's a child. Yeah, we didn't care about her. We loved her mother. We loved her. But, like, they're looking for her. And if you try to kill these paranormal investigators to protect her, you're just going to bring a war here. So from that perspective, you kind of understand it. But it's also like, it's a dilemma. it's the, I guess it's like sort of like the Infamous dilemma. I wanted to use a better comparison, but Infamous is sort of similar. Save the 10 doctors that can heal all the city, or save your girlfriend. Yeah, it is the same, because the choice here is like you were choosing everybody, the whole city, all the ghouls, just like in Infamous, saving all the people in New York City, versus saving your girlfriend / saving Hinanami. So, obviously, the Infamous choice is saving Hinanami. The Infamous choice is saving your girlfriend, who turns out not to be your girlfriend. You try to save her. She's one of the 10 doctors. And if you save the 10 doctors, it turns out that is your girlfriend over there. The choice is that you're supposed to not save her. And in this, you're just supposed to ignore the paranormal investigators, even if they kill a ghoul, and, go on with your lives. And if they're hunting Hinanami because they know about her, you gotta let her go. We also learned that this is where we learned that Hinanami's father was killed, and the dad was the original provider. He was the fighter. He was the one they had hunt for them and take on fights, while the mother and father maybe the mother and Hinanami kind of just stayed back. I did learn the mother's name, but I already forgot it, so I didn't even try to look that up. But she's done. She's out the story anyway. But yeah, so that's where we learned that. Despite Tokua wants to retaliate still, because she's ghouls live in constant fear of like paranormal investigators. She's tired of being afraid of the doves. Yomo and the others know a battle with them only leads to their destruction, though. They're like, hey, look, we understand what you're saying. We're tired of living in fear of these doves and the humans too. Oh well, they ain't afraid of regular humans. They eat regular humans, but they're tired of being afraid of like living in the shadows. But he says that they must swallow their feelings and carried on, and swallow their feelings, not carry it on their shoulders. Like, you just gotta let it go. Like, somebody died, you if you retaliate, you're just risking killing all of us, And she knows that, like, as a ghoul, because we heard her tell that to Kaneki in the beginning. She's like, oh, I live my life in constant fear. I don't get to know what good food tastes like. It all tastes like shit to me. But, but again, that's because the story is trying to make you think in the perspective of the ghouls being the good guys. Because in the eyes of the humans like, well, shit, we scared of y'all ghouls. Y'all out here killing us left and right. We just trying to live our daily lives, you know what I mean? So, very good twist. And I love how this author, the way he's writing is very good. The twist on making something like a monster humanized, basically. So it's heavily implied towards Takuya's backstory, as it seems to like something triggers in her into running away. Like, I think she sees like the image of somebody, and her in her mind she visions somebody, and I'm wondering like if this is like triggering a backstory with her. Like, maybe she lost somebody to the doves before. It could be like a brother, or a friend, a boyfriend, or father. We don't know, but I'm getting like there's some kind of backstory with that. Kaneki feels burdened, however, as well, not for saving Hinanami's mother, but Mr. Yomo assures him that there's nothing he could have done to change the outcome, which is true. Kaneki does not know how to fight the doves. He doesn't even know how to use his Kagune, well, really Rise's Kagune. The one time it came out was because he wanted to save Hyde, but even that was like more out of instinct. It wasn't even out of like, well, instinct to save his friend. It wasn't out of like, I have to battle to fight, whatever. And also, like, as Mr. Yoshimura just told him, like, if you attack the doves, regardless, they're going to swarm this place and sweep all of us out. You just got to let it go, We're then going to get a glimpse of Kaneki's rising struggle. What the investigators are doing benefits the humans and protects them, which is true. Kaneki was once a human, but now he's a ghoul, so he's got this dilemma. To which Kaneki was like, if he was still human, he would be all for this, but now being a part of the ghoul world, he feels conflicted. Having met Himawari, having met Mr. Yoshimura, having met Yomo, having met Tokua, and having become friends with Hinanami and her mother. So it's a great, like, for Kaneki being in the perspective that we saw him living his human life, being attacked by Rise, and then being, against his will, transplanted with that ghoul organs, which I still think the anime more implies that the doctor knew, whereas the manga just made it seem like it was like a regular doctor was just trying to save his life. But the anime heavily implies that doctor knew what he's doing. I don't know if that's a major reveal, but from the 3 episodes of the anime I watched, it seems like the doctor heavily knows. Or he might be a ghoul. But anyways, so it's great because now we have a character we can follow that was human, and now he's like stuck between these worlds. He gets to live in both. He has the best of both worlds, but like he's in a conflict with himself, inner conflict, because he's like, I should be rooting for the paranormal investigators to kill all these ghouls. But at the same time, I become friends with these ghouls. And I'm a ghoul myself, so they'll have to also kill me. So it's a great dilemma to have. Great character development on Kaneki's part. And again, that's just how good this writer is. Meanwhile, Tokua, she out there seeking blood. She out there ready to throw hands. She's like, fuck that shit. I'm out for violence. I chose violence this morning. She wants to kill the investigators because she believes they wrongfully killed the mother, Ryoko. That's the mother's name, I think. And basically to avenge Shinry in the first place. Like, she's like, I'm gonna go kill their ass. Even though she is risking getting them all swept out anyway. We then switch over to a second team of investigators. Amon seems to be the main one we follow, and then Mato, who's his partner. Mato is the one that looks at the guy from, what is the anime? Soul Eater. And then what's the guy with the Dr. Stein? Professor Stein, I think. You know, Mato is giving Professor Stein from Soul Eater. And Amon is just like a regular human who's actually pretty jacked in one of these panels. But Amon's met by two investigators who asked him out to eat. It's just like a random slice of life scene. Pretty casual conversation, but he warns them not to be simple-minded and always alert because these two investigators are kind of being like laid back. They're like, oh yeah, there's nothing to worry about. We'll kill these ghouls. We're pretty strong, and these ghouls are afraid of us. And Amon's like, there's some dangerous ghouls out there though, because he knows what they did. They're making, again, Amon was pissed previous chapters that like they're making children like, parentless and orphans, and they're making lovers, widows, and widowers. So Amon's like, don't underestimate ghouls. Something they're going to wish they had taken more seriously, because in the next panel, Tokua kills one of them after catching them with their guard down. She got them slipping. And I should have saw that coming because I actually didn't, but Amon did warn you, like, keep your guard up. And literally they were just like, oh, no, it'll be fine. And then you take it out, you dead. And again, in a world where like ghouls are well known, it's like known against human society on TV. Keep your guard up regardless, even if you suspect there's not a ghoul nearby. Because you literally hunt these things. Now, it'd be different, like I said, if in our real world, somebody said, oh, there's vampires out there, oh, there's werewolves out there, oh, there's a mummy out there, Frankenstein out there, zombies out there. We wouldn't take it seriously. But if somebody got killed, if I was a hunter, and I knew these things exist, I'd be on alert 24/7. I also love that her mask is a rabbit. I don't know why, but I found that cute and hilarious. Because Tokua does give me, like, after seeing it with the flowers and the butterfly landing on her finger in that one panel, it does show like she has like a kindness. Because I think like a bunny kind of represents that. Whereas if she had like some kind of other crazy kind of mask, it'd be like, okay, yeah, this bitch is dangerous. Like Kaneki's mask. Kaneki's mask looks fucking like a BDSM, crazy, scary kind of mask. Whereas a rabbit's like, oh, that's cute. She manages to kill one of the doves, but when she goes for the second, Amon returns in the nick of time to save them. And for a human, he manages to hold his own for a bit against her. Which makes me curious if humans have some kind of amp to fight back. Like, I imagine ghouls, as any kind of monster lore, ghouls should be like more durable than humans, like maybe more faster, maybe a little bit stronger. Like some kind of amp. So even if a paranormal investigator is just a human as far as I know, unless they got like some kind of physical amp, like something that like Soul Reaper type, I don't see how he could just keep up with a ghoul. But it's not explained yet. I know he trains his ass off. We see that in the panel at some point. But again, like, are you like the Slayer, like Buffy the Vampire Diaries? Oh my God, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where like Buffy, her body is physically amped up because she's like that strong, or because she's a Slayer. Amon was about to die when this crazy-ass investigator named Mato shows up, who we then indeed learn that humans do have a weapon to fight back, and they are called Kinike. I think that's what they're called, how it's pronounced. But Amon was going to die fighting against Tokua, but Mato showed up, the one that's like Professor Stein, and he uses a Kinike. Kinike, it's not real what they are in this chapter, but basically they are weapons. They're revamped weapons of a dead Ghoul's kagune. They just changed it into a weapon that they can use. And this one is some kind of bone chain whip. It was given like Renji from Soul Eater, Renji from Bleach with this chain whip Zord. That's actually why Renji was one of my early Bleach, the first 50 episodes. Renji was one of my favorite characters. That chain whip Zord, bitch, dope. And I also check out my friend Silver, his Instagram. He actually cosplayed Renji, built the blade looking like that. Bitch is crazy. I might show it off on the panel just to show it off. Anyways, Mato easily overpowers Tokua, provoking her and wearing her down. So Mato, even though he looks older than Amon, well he is, and not as like built and jacked, or maybe because she's worn out and tired because she just fought against Amon. But it turns out that she's a high-speed type, which is curious because I'm curious what type Kaneki is. I didn't know there was different classes of ghouls, which I mean, I guess I should have figured. And I know eventually Hyde will become a ghoul. That got spoiled for me, but I kind of speculated that in my first chapter that Hyde might become a ghoul. But the weakness of high-speed types is that they rely on a swift battle and not a drawn-out one, which accurately makes sense. Like any kind of like super speed, well, not exactly super speed, because the Flash, no, they can't be compared to the Flash. They're not like that. But yeah, like if your ability is like high speed, yeah, you're expecting to end something fast. So that makes sense. And I know they don't go through all the types, I think, but I know like it's introduced that there are different types. The longer the battle goes on, the more a high speed type becomes exhausted, which again makes sense. For a minute, I thought Tokua was gonna die. I don't know why. For some reason, Tokua was wearing a wig. I don't know why I didn't think about that. That's pretty clever because it makes me think of Kaneki with his white hair or silver hair that's on the cover and in the anime trailer. I'm wondering if that's like Kaneki's hair is gonna become that color when he becomes a ghoul, like more ghoul. Because right now he's like a hybrid. But I'm curious if like that's a wig that he's wearing, like Tokua, like so they don't recognize her in real life, you know, or if like again his hair just becomes that color. She manages to escape though the last minute, but like just barely, and like they make a comment about that, and that's actually where I ended the chapter. Speculation, I still had none, but I guess if there was a story, again, this first arc I guess will be about the battle between like the paranormal investigators and the ghouls. And since we're only 16 chapters in, I mean, I guess you got to introduce it, but like it just still feels too early. Like if that's the overarching story, can't wait to see how it evolves. Again, where I'm at in chapter 35, the war hasn't started yet, but they're talking about a war. But yeah, that's all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I am really hot right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know about your thoughts. Am I going too fast? Should I slow down, make less chapters? I think I'm doing pretty good breaking it up. Let me know what you guys think. Anyways, see you in the next video. Talk to you later. Bye. Hey guys, this video was sponsored by me, the author of the Shinry series, the Chronicles of Wayne, and Monsterverse. So I figured I'd do this outro a little bit different by showing you guys what you guys will be checking out. So, the Shinry series starts with Book 1, Shobu Samurai Project Aryoku. 10 years after the death of his parents, Shobu Samurai returns home seeking vengeance, but instead faces the choice to save his home from shadow creatures, blood beasts, and an organization once thought dead. Shinry's Shobu Samurai starts at $9.99. And if you love anime, manga, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Fairy Tail, Shaman King, Rave Master, Zatch Bell, anything like that, the Shinry series is definitely the series for you. You'll definitely want to check it out. The Sword of Light is probably the thickest one so far. And then these books are 2. This is Enter the Dread Zone Tournament. And the series original ending, Arado, the Legendary Conjuring Master. So, and I'll just show you guys some of the covers. Really proud of all of these. But I hope you guys check it out. If you don't like that, I also have the current published books for the Chronicles of Wayne, Love Be Damned, Cotton Candy, Full Moons, Fabled Lovers, A Cursed Virgin's Bite. If You Go Where Monsters Dance, Red will Reign Over Your House. Love Be Damned. Now, the Chronicles of Wayne is about a geeky guy
or a nerdy guy in high school. His senior year, he has a crush on the hottest guy in school because, of course, he does. He's only got one best friend, and her name is Barb. Well, the hottest guy in school turns out to be a werewolf. And to make the story more interesting, he bites Wayne and turns Wayne into the first ever wolfman in the last 10 years. And because of that, it was also a sacred law that wolfmen should never be created. I don't want to get into too much of the Chronicles of Wayne without spoiling it, but I can tell you it's very short. This one sells for $6.99, and Love Decays right after it. The ending of this trilogy, Love Be Liberated, comes out in October. So I'm going to definitely do a more full in-depth review of this one. But yeah, it's an LGBT fantasy fiction story about werewolves, vampires, white witches, a dark warlock, and, well, many, many more surprises to come. So if you guys like to read, I definitely recommend. These are all the books so far in the Shinry series, except for Shinry's Beginning. I do have that one, but it's just not here with me. But yeah, I appreciate a like, support, or just a review on Amazon. Either way, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day.